Here I've got a simple sound setup, and I'm using, again, the init preset. So we're starting from scratch, and I'm only using the wavetable section of the sound. It's blended all the way over here, and I've chosen the sound that I like and a position in the wavetable and an offset here. And I want to look at the oscillator section. We have one of three types of oscillators we can add to the sound. Now, the first one is audio modulation, where it's a different type of audio rate modulation that we can set here. And this is not heard, but it's used to modulate the wavetable. So we can choose between two different types of FM modulation, then two types of pulse modulation, and then ring modulation. And here we can choose different shapes for the modulation. And here we can choose the ratio. We can either tune the modulation to a specific frequency with semitones using that, and you can get some pretty dissonant results like that. Or, and I find this the most useful in the context I'm about to play you, a ratio of the actual signal. Or we can actually tune it to a specific frequency. So let me start by just playing you this, and this is the amount that we dial up. Let me play it for you without any of this. We can turn it on or off here. So that's the sound. It goes through the table. And I can tune it down if I want. I can maybe make it an octave lower. But I'll command-click to snap it back. And we'll bring this in, and I'll modulate with sine wave to start with. So you're getting very dissonant results there. So two different types of FM. But when we set this to ratio, we'll get much more harmonic results instead of enharmonic. Almost like a vocal filter. And again, different shapes. And some generate more dissonant or enharmonic harmonics. FM2. You can get some holes in the phase of the signal. Pulse modulation. Without it. Ring modulation. And again, we can tune it to a specific frequency as well. So you can get that kind of robot effect for dissonant, kind of enharmonic type of sound. Now, the next type that we have here is oscillator. Now, this adds an analog oscillator that's blended with the wavetable, so we actually do hear it, but it also modulates the wavetable, again, with these choice of different shapes. And same thing, we can either use a ratio or tune it or set it to a specific frequency, and we can blend it in. I can get like a sub-octave, which is kind of cool for this type of bass part sound. They all have slightly different qualities. And then you can still modulate this. Now, the third option we have here is shaper. And this acts as a second shaper for the wavetable source, this being the first. And we can choose the type of shaper that we want to use here, and then the amount. And then we have an inharmonic option here to add a dissonant kind of inharmonic sound to it. So this is great for an acid style bass. And of course, you can modulate that with an LFO or an envelope or even the animator, one of the sources. And we can choose here between the different options. And again, they're all slightly different. They remind me of valve filters. So they're most interesting when you actually modulate them for movement. And so on. And we can add this in. You can get some subtle detuning. Or not so subtle. And just to show you real quick, I'll enable an LFO and I'll modulate this with the LFO. Make it bipolar. So it's a very intuitive way to add actually quite complex motion to the wavetable. We'll continue with more in the next video.